Welcome back, everybody. We're continuing our storyline on the Mountain Meadows Massacre here in southern Utah. And before we go any further with our clearing and our beautiful, beautiful energy work here to assist the souls in their transition and taking them to the light and love and possibility, I need to make a statement very, very clear that as an intuitive person, this is the stories that are being fed to us from the ones who lost their lives here. There is nothing documented in what we are saying. There is nothing proven in what we are saying, and we just need to make that very, very clear. This is our interpretation through being mediums, channels, psychics, and intuits, that these are the storylines that are coming through very, very clear to us from the embodied beings that were taken away from this spot. Okay? Wow, you guys look awesome, don't you? All right.
Okay. Just gonna call in helpers.
So this is a massacre site of hundreds of children, men and women included. Thank you. That is not what the documentation will represent. And we're here to talk about or give voice to those who were stripped of their identity and their value in an attempt to fund the church. And their story has been calcified, so not just covered up, but sealed as a massive, massive lie, which downgrades the issue actually of the event, the authentic issue of the event, and then more lies and more lies and more lies have piled on top of that, and of course that buries that truth deeper and deeper and deeper. Back in the 1800s, and history will write that it was a caravan of settlers traversing along the Spanish Trail from Arkansas who were for some unknown reason attacked by a handful of Mormon militia along with Paiute Indians, and people were killed. That's basically, in a nutshell, how the history is written. That in and by itself has been changed and altered a few times. And we love the way that these things are just kind of brushed over, just a little insignificant, not much going on here. And of course, only written about when bodies or bones of bodies were uncovered when farmers were starting to plow these fields that they had been given by the church. Of course, they've been given them by the church to hide the secret, and then, oh gosh, you know, the secret starts to unfold. So this has become a, if you live in Utah, or if for some reason you're into these type of historical sites, this is a familiar place and somewhat of a nebulous familiar story, because the story, of course, like so many others, just doesn't make sense. They will talk about a rogue group, but no reason why. Why would they have been attacking this caravan? Why were there Paiute Indians involved? Well, we just don't want to talk about that. People, of course, went on record supposedly to give their story. What happens here with us, and you're just about to meet an extraordinary group of people, is this location is very close to the farm, and it's very much tied into the storyline back at the farm where the church was burnt down. And normally we'd love to just go through our lives not knowing some of this stuff, not really hearing about some of this stuff, but when that doesn't happen, when voices call out, when they call out for help, and you cannot diffuse the noise ratio, then we are pulled to respond. So we are here to give voice to those who were taken away from their lives for monetary gain and deep secrets kept, because in doing so, we assist to free that energy. So this programming is not particularly intended to point blame. This programming is to free. This program is to love and honor and recognize, and that's what we are here to do. We're going to be telling some of the stories because they're going to be hitting us like boulders in the head as we walk around here or we sit around here, and we're going to let these people's voices be heard. Many of them are probably a good portion of them are going to be children, because those precious little souls deserve to be able to be set free and to move forward in their expansive experience. You want to scan and take a peek? Troy, come over here, please. This is Troy. He's an incredible Intuit. We're just going to say that. And so, Troy, coming up here, I know that you're picking up on a lot of the kids' energies, right?
There's a lot of children. There's a lot of adults also.
Yeah.
It's difficult to be here. Just the amount of suffering, pain, agony that's coming through to me. It's very difficult to be here.
Yeah. So the storyline that I have definitively picked up on for a little while now, getting tidbits through visitations, is that this was a child trafficking train. This is the money that was utilized for funding for very powerful people and organizations, very similar to what has continued to go on in current time today. And the whole storyline of the Native Americans attacking the train, my personal interpretation that I'm getting very clear is that they were getting their own children back out of the train, that the children had been abducted, they'd been taken away for slave labor, for sexual labor, for sacrificial usage, anything horrible that you can think of. And the Paiute tribe, as well as another, so I'm picking up on some other, also other Native Americans that decided, so they decided to cooperate with each other because they all had the same goal, which was to get the Native American children away. And during that, the militia was riding with the train as protection, and that's the conflict that ensued, okay? And there was a whole problem then with escape. So many of them that had been enslaved, which did include some of the women as well, oh my hell. So lots of polygamy women, lots of polygamists were involved, and of course hundreds of polygamy children that were bred for that specific exchange started to disperse, and there's no way this information could get out. So they were just like running targets. They were just like scattered kittens. Okay.
They didn't have a chance. They and it wasn't just a fact of killing them. They destroyed them. So there was no physical evidence of what had happened to them.
Right. What's interesting, what I'm getting also about this particular site is that they stopped here. Okay, so they paused here to perform sacrificial ceremonies. So what I get interpretive-wise is in transporting, there's sacrifices and ceremonies that are done along the way to help feed the energy to protect them, to be able to get them, typical of any type of ceremonies that take place. And this was a ceremony stop for them. And right down over here by the trees, Brad will shoot over there, is a sacrificial ceremony site. And some of the children were sacrificed down over here. Well, not over there. Well, I'll show you when we go down there. So that's why they were here.
This one right here.
Yeah. Okay. And the layout of those trees, of course, they were little at the time, so they'd planted the trees in a particular pattern, and they were performing sacrificial ceremonies. So I pick up like three children of a number for this. And that was the opportunity for the Native Americans to attack or to attempt to retrieve.
Yes.
Okay, with us today also is a woman that we're very, very, very clear that she was one of the children in that train. A little boy, a little Native American boy, who ended up losing his life. Having some horrible mutilations happen to him. I get 6 years old very clearly, the number 6. He was one of the children that the natives were trying to get back so very quickly. And she's came up here so generously help relieve energy from the site, but of course she's trying to navigate her way through that memory right now. Of course, we know the soul is safe and well, but nonetheless, we're going to be doing some actions here to release that fractal version of her soul so that energy of love can be healed and expanded. So the group of people that we have here today who have been so generous in coming, we know very much that they somehow have a tie or somehow have some kind of relation here. If there's anybody who has anything to say or wants to speak up a little bit about anything you're picking up on, here we go.
I now know that I was one of the mercenaries, and I'm just excited to have made it to this point in the juncture, just to be here to share that with you and everyone here. And that 6-year-old girl means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. As does everyone.
Yeah.
And the truth is what we're here for, and I support the infinite truth, like Kasey said, so thank you for giving me the chance to share that.
Yeah, Jess, this is Jessie. So our belief system, our alignment of our belief system is that we always continue, that there is reincarnation and that souls continue, but we also support, in a strange paradox, that a version of your soul or an imprinted action of your soul that departs during extreme trauma, that version or portion of you can get stuck. As a good majority of your soul moves on, you can have these integrated aspects of you that you don't feel fully complete, or you can feel very confused, or you can pick up on aspects of trauma. You can carry trauma, in your body from experiences that haven't been cleared, or they haven't been cleaned, or they haven't been justified in your own mind or recognized. And once that happens, things can come together for you in this experience or the next experience that you do. This is some of our explanation as to why people have chronic conditions, and they have diseases, and they have injuries, and they have obviously thought limitations. And with some really great work, energy work, you can kind of start to weave that basket back together where it's been broken apart and shattered in so many fragment aspects of your life. And so this is what we're doing. This is why we do what we do, because it's all about making all of us whole and loved and magnificent and extraordinary. And this is Trish.
This is not an easy thing. I would have been here had I not been rescued. Thank you, Brad. I knew some of these children. They were my friends. I get to be here to stand for them because they're not here to stand for themselves unless they are. Because of us, we can stand as their voice and bring the truth forward, and we can also allow them the peace that their soul deserves. So as we all stand here to represent them in peace and love, that's what we send out, is peace and love. And we send peace and love to all involved, because there are those that do not know who they are, and that's why they choose what they choose. So we get to send them all peace and love.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So looking at, you know, the memorial that is left here, and we will say that there is a fair amount of accuracy in the names. We've all kind of got that yes, 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 yes. But of course there's so many who are not recognized, because that would make the tragedy too big to keep small. It would make it too big to keep small, and they'd try to keep it small. So with all of the recognition of these people who are stated, of course, we speak these stories. So there is a young boy. He is 6 years old. He is not Paiute. He is Navajo. And he and his sister and his cousins, 2 cousins, have been captured by the Mormons. They're all on the train. They're all on the train, and the little 6-year-old boy, the train has stopped. When we say the train, we mean a caravan, a wagon caravan, as well as boxes. So there were storage containers like boxes. So So they look like they're ammunition boxes that have bodies in them and live children in them. They have breathing holes drilled in them, but to downplay the amount of children that are being transported, they look like big, huge boxes, like you would store supplies in, and there's children in there, and the little 6-year-old boy. His sibling and his cousins are in the box, and he's trying to get them out. He's trying to get them out and set them free, and so they tethered him to the wheel right by the box. And they're talking to each other in their Native American language, and he's telling them that he's afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. And the kids in the box are soothing him. So okay. Now I know why I've been cutting So they cut, the captors cut him away from the wagon, but did it very quickly, so they just cut his hands off and dragged him over to the site to be sacrificed. And thank you. He was fighting them, and blood is everywhere, and he's fighting them with his arms, and so they cut his arms off. And that's Alicia now. The siblings in the box died because they couldn't breathe. And they didn't recognize, nothing is in recognition of any of the Native American children, of course, that have passed. or were sacrificed or sold, because they didn't care. So that's basically how that goes. So the captors had named the little boy Josiah. 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 We love you. We love you. We see you. And we hear you. And we soothe you. We save you. You are safe. And you are loved. And your family carries your spirit with them. This is washed clean. This is clean. We wash it. Just wash it. And it feels a little lighter. It feels a little lighter. Just being heard. The reason that we tell stories is the secrets bind people, lock people, and make them feel unworthy, make a soul feel unworthy. And this gives them worthiness. To the children in the box, well, there were so many children in the box, so they just pile them onto each other. So our intent here, we're going to be performing, have a couple of beautiful ladies. Are they here? Is Elizabeth here?
We're going to do that.
Okay. In just a little bit, we're going to be doing a ceremony to help continue. So we're going to shoot over here.
Do you want to talk to anybody else about how they feel?
Anybody else?
Do.
Okay.
A little while back, Troy and I visited a home of my relative in St. George. And the history that I've learned growing up was my family history. My great, however many back grandfathers was a noble man. Not sure how to feel. He was Jacob Hamblin.
Wow!
So, I know that he had several wives. Mm-hmm. I know that I am a descendant of his first wife.
Okay.
And his first wife, when he said, I'm coming out here and I'm bringing the kids, she said, no, I am not going, and she stayed. Mm-hmm. And I know she was a very strong person. Mm-hmm. But the history is not accurate. I know that by being here. I know that he was heavily involved. And I'm working through that.
Yeah. But that's why you're here, right? Is to clear all of that.
Yes.
Is to clear all of that. So what's remarkable is descendants can definitively change the energy. It doesn't mean you're descending that same energy. It just means that you're the opportunity to do the cleanup, right? We get to be the cleanup crew. And we're honored to do that, right? To totally shift the energy and perspective, because it's all about love. And in a weird way, his soul, I think, in its clearest, purest form, is asking you to do that for him, right? It's the altered ego that pulls us into all of that type of horrid activity, but the soul, it cries out for help, for who will show up and who will understand that it's okay, we're just going to clean it up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And as we are here, I know I'm washing the energy, which is beautiful, because I know I know cleaning that. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Grateful I'm back.
And we're so grateful that you're here. And it's an interesting thing, because the wind is always blowing here. Always. All year round, the wind is blowing, right? And because of that, come on over here. we know that there's clearing going on. We know this is Earth's energy clearing this. We know this is Spirit's energy clearing this. We know that the Native Americans, so they set a declaration or a contract, right? A type of contract, a kind of, what do you want to call that? It's a agreement, a commitment to this land that the wind always blow in assisting those souls unrecognized to find their way, or to at least be able to move away from here. Once these souls' stories are told, the wind will start to calm itself down. But in the meantime, this is like that broom that's sweeping over the stain, right? Trying to release at least fragments of the energy, and it's incredible, right? And it's a very, very interesting spot energetically. If any of you could even be here, there's this bizarre mix of, aesthetically it's beautiful, you know, it's quite lovely, it's beautiful, and then there's just this thing. We're laughing though, I have to point this out, because there's a beautiful fairly new home over here, and I'd said to everybody, oh my God, can you imagine the ghost and apparition activity that goes on in that house for the idiot that put their house there? Sorry, that was a judgment, but you know, but it's like, wow, can you even imagine? Because I get the activity at my house, what, 4 miles away, or whatever it is, right?
Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
I do want to share.
Yeah, so let's let Alicia share.
So I've been coming here, and I didn't know the connection for quite some time until today. And when I went down, I grabbed my drum the first time and I played here. But when I went down to where they have the statue for the men and then also the women, on there it says, "We will never forget." And it says 9/11.
9/11.
And the synchronicities of 9/11. And so I am voicing for the children. I hear you, I see you, I love you, and I love all of you.
That's right. That's
So,
right. And of course,
thank you.
Alicia, in this life as a Caucasian female, is obviously very, very, you've been so pulled to the Native American culture, knowing you've been Native American in so many other lives, right?
Yes.
And it's just such explains some of that, you know, just explains, you know, some of that history. Elizabeth, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you've...
I'm good.
Okay. And how are you feeling possibly about maybe a little drumming just even right here as we get started with things? Would that be all right?
A
Wonderful.
little bit right here, and then we'll just do a big drum and ceremony up the road.
Okay.
What do you think?
Good.
Huh?
You need to go stand next to her.
Come on.
Here.
There we go. Nice.
Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, love, our love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, love, our love. Watch our circle grow.
Nice.
to want. I don't know. Yeah, many of us have been doing this work for years, and going to different sites like this and working with portals to assist and calling in angels and guides and guardians and people's higher selves to assist them to move forward through the portals into their next realm of experience and to assist them in the healing processes necessary. And this is one of the most tragic, I think, although they all are, parts of history. I think we just need to realize that this now is the time to let go of the old and move into the new.